York, and our climate podcasts are back on Fridays. So after that little strange week last week, we're back recording them and posting them on Friday. So this climate podcast is starting on Friday, February 8th, 2019. It's the first climate podcast of February. I just love it. Yes. So what are we seeing?
Oh, well, we're going to be talking about the battle of the air masses. We have two very different air masses that are going to be dominating different parts of the country. We are seeing drought improvement across multiple parts of the country, and we do have our February outlooks for the month of February. So
I am
very
excited about that,
yes.
And I know you all are as well. So we're just going to jump right in to the first battle of the air masses. That sounded so cheesy to say, but this is a 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, and basically we are seeing deep troughing in the western United States, which is why we're seeing a 90% chance of below average temperatures in Montana, even out towards Washington. Just 90% chance. We haven't seen this in quite some time. And even along the Midwestern states and all along the West Coast, we are seeing those below average temperatures. But then if you go to the other side in the South and the Eastern states, that is where we have a ridge dominating. So they are getting this rush of warmer air. So they will be seeing pretty high chance. They have 70% chance of those above average temperatures for the 6 to 10 day time frame. But precipitation is also looking really interesting because all of us, for the most part, are going to be seeing some above average precip, especially near California and Nevada, and then again another very high chance of that above average precip in Kentucky and even up towards Maine. So what about for the 8 to 14 days?
Well, we are going to be looking at a very, very similar weather pattern over the next couple of weeks.
Battle of the air masses continues.
Exactly. We have a very high chance of below average temperatures across the north central states. Meanwhile, in the south, particularly in the southeast, we have a very high chance of seeing above average temperatures. Definitely going to be seeing the battle of the air masses continuing across the center of the country as we have a very warm south and a very cold north. In terms of precipitation, we are also seeing much of the same. We have a bullseye of above average precipitation across the western states as that Pacific moisture is going to be pumped in by that troughing. And then we also are going to be seeing above average precipitation across the Ohio River Valley and the Midwest as well. And then we do have a small pocket of below average precipitation expected in the Florida Peninsula. What about the drought, though?
So because of all that rain we are seeing, or that we could see, and the deep troughing along the western coast, a bunch of moist Pacific air is going to be pumping into California, which will improve the drought. So as you can see in the drought monitor, it's looking so much better than it did last week. Also, if you remember, in Florida, a bit of a drought was developing. That is basically gone currently, but February outlook.
Yes. Very, very exciting. So we actually are going to be seeing much of the same throughout the month of February. We're going to be seeing generally troughing in the west, bringing those cooler temperatures across the north central states and the northwestern states. However, that cold air will not make its way towards the south. On average, we're going to be seeing above average temperatures, particularly in the southeast, along the southeast Atlantic coasts. So in terms of precipitation, also majority of the country is going to be seeing above average precipitation. Once again, our bullseyes are going to be across the southwest Pacific coast, and also across the Ohio River Valley and in the Midwest. We are going to be seeing below average precipitation across the northwestern parts of the states throughout the month. So going to be very, very interesting over the next month or so, as the pattern is going to remain pretty stagnant for most of us.
Especially with those below average temperatures in the north. I haven't seen a 90% chance of that in the 6 to 10 day and in the 18 to 14 day at the same time. So that I find really interesting.
Very confident forecasting.
Oh, yes, very. So it'll be really interesting to see how this develops and also what happens next week. But once again, this climate podcast has been brought to you by the University of Oklahoma Weather Lab, and we are partnered with the Southern Climate Impacts Planning Program. And as always, we post these podcasts on Friday on all of our platforms.
Yes. And those platforms include YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook.
So please sure to give us a like and watch us next week.